HiTechLegion.com. This is Skating here today to show you a case from Thermaltake. This is their Armor Revo Snow Edition. This is the Snow Edition of their Revo. Comes in the white color with the armor panels, the blue LEDs, and it offers all of the same high-end features we saw on the Chaser Mark 1. Now, if we take a look at the front of the case, we will see an aesthetic change. We get the white colors as well as the armor panels that border the edges. These panels are functional and they do move. What you will see is that they do need to be moved to access the ODD drives underneath here. The drives underneath do have that same look as the Chaser Mark 1. They have that same the ledges to pull them out, and there are 4 5¼ inch available. Now on the top here we do have their stencil, the Thermaltake stencil on the top that does have a blue LED underneath and will feature that breathing pulse effect. Now if we take a look at the side panel here, what we will get is what's similar to the Chaser Mark 1. We get the headphone rest here, the large transparent window, as well as a nice 200mm fan underneath. And the power to this fan does use contact points and not the long wire for easier side panel removal. Now if we take a look at the front end of the inside of the case, we see what is similar to Chaser Mark 1. We get 4 5¼ inch ODD bays, 6 hard drive bays. These are all tool free bays, and then the 3.5 inch hard drive base features the same removable and locking caddies that we saw in the Chaser Mark 1. Now if we take a look at the bottom of the case, what we will see is a bottom mount power supply unit with a little bar here that puts a little lip underneath the power supply so that there is optimal airflow. The bottom also features a removable filter, and then underneath there's also swiveled feet that give the base a little more stability. Now if we look at the motherboard tray, what we will see is cable routing with these grommets that surround the motherboard tray. They do have the protecting rubber. As there is the expansion bays on the side, a 140mm rear exhaust fan, a 200mm top exhaust fan, as well as the large heatsink swapping CPU cutout on the back of the tray. Now on the rear of the case, what we'll see is the cable routing and liquid cooling hose. There are 3 of them. We have our expansion bays, motherboard I/O panel, and the bottom mount PSU with a little extra grill here, and the locks for the keyboard mouse and the side panel lock. Now if we take a look at the other side, we'll see the cable management. There's a lot of tie-offs that they have surrounding the motherboard tray, as well as the grommet, the holes for cable routing. There is a lip underneath the back here that's about 20 to 25mm. You can see I can fit my fingers underneath, and that helps for cable management. The side panel does also protrude a little bit as well, so that also helps. Underneath the hard drive bays here, there is a bit more room, as well as the front intake 200mm blue LED fan. Now the biggest change you'll see is this top console up here. What it features is the hard drive docking bay. We also get the USB 2.0, USB 3.0, our e-SATA 3.5mm jacks, fan controller that features high and low buttons, fan LED button that controls the blue LEDs for the top exhaust and intake fan, power and reset buttons. And then on the back you'll notice it is wide open. They do this to accommodate pretty much any liquid cooling setup. The back end will support up to a 200mm, 140mm, and 120mm fan, and on the mounts they do have the little holes to mount them in, and total this will hold up to a 240mm liquid cooling setup. And that is the overview for the Thermaltake Armor Revo Snow Edition. For further information and full benchmarks, visit our website at www.hightechlegion.com.